This is a poet who lit your darkest days?
Didn't I tell you he was a tortured soul?
I have your attention. Shall I torture you with a poem? No. Too late.
From Frankenstein to King Midas, Dylan Thomas to Charlie Puth, Barbie's Ken to Emily Dickinson, Great Gatsby to Shakespeare's Macbeth, The Little Mermaid to Romeo and Juliet, Jack Antonoff and Margaret Qualley's Wedding to the Bleachers, Florence and the Machine to Valley of Dolls, where the crawdads sing to The Shining, Virginia Woolf to the iconic Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, Patti Smith's Just Kids to The Wizard of Oz, Gracie Abrams, Good Riddance to Pretty Little Liars, Travis Kelce to the Super Bowl, Clara Bow to Stevie Nicks, and finally Taylor Swift to the Eras Tour. I think there are 13 million literary and pop culture references Taylor used in her albums, The Tortured Poets Department and The Tortured Poets Department, the anthology. So, as a Swiftie and literature lover, I made a reference guide on my blog while listening to The Tortured Poets Department in May. And here is a detailed version of the post, track by track, with all the references. First up, Fortnight, featuring Post Malone. This one is a treasure trove of references, both in the lyrics and the music video. Taylor Swift loves to use the words golden and touch in her lyrics, like love is golden in daylight, to Midas touch in Champagne Problems, and gold rush, which indicates the King Midas in Greek mythology reference. King Midas is cursed and turns everything into gold when he touches it. So this could be a literary reference used in the first track. Here, she's playing with the idea of a touch that transforms, but instead of turning things to gold, it's igniting a relationship. Next up, references in the music video. Taylor was seen undergoing shock therapy and some experiments on Fortnight music video, which echoes Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and its themes of reanimation and experimentation. The scene also resembles the experiment scenes from Emma Stone's movie Poor Things. Then we have Dead Poets Society cameos. I'm definitely not the only one who thought of the Dead Poets Society when the Tortured Poets Department album was announced.
Which is that my brand new album comes out April 19th. It's called The Tortured Poets Department.
Even Ethan Hawke shared a message on this.
Releasing an album, The Tortured Poets Department.
Yeah.
And I think she wanted to hide a little Easter egg about Dead Poets Society.
Right.
So
Well, there's a reference there.
A few fun facts. They are both appearing as the characters of their film, as Dr. Todd Anderson and Knox Overstreet. And the movie was released in 1989. Let's move on to the title track, The Tortured Poets Department. You're not Dylan Thomas, I'm not Patti Smith. This ain't the Chelsea Hotel, we're modern idiots. Taylor mentions Dylan Thomas and Patti Smith, iconic figures in poetry and punk rock. Thomas, known for his powerful poems like Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night, and Smith, punk rock poetess known for Just Kids, are both mentioned in this track. Patti Smith also shared an Instagram post of herself reading Dylan Thomas's memoir, Portrait of the Artist as a Young Dog, and thanking Taylor with the caption, "This is saying I was moved to be mentioned in the company of the great Welsh poet Dylan Thomas. Thank you, Taylor." Coincidentally, or Taylor being the mastermind, there's also a nod to the Chelsea Hotel, where both Thomas and Smith were known to stay and smelling. The memoir Just Kids was also written in Chelsea Hotel. Taylor even throws in a reference to pop singers, Charlie Puth and Lucy Dacus. We declared Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist. Charlie Puth is an American singer-songwriter who started his career on YouTube at the age of 18 and later blew up for his songs We Don't Talk Anymore and Attention with over 1 billion views. And both happen to be written with and about Taylor Swift's best friend Selena Gomez. But you told Lucy you'd yourself if I ever leave. And I had said that to Jack about you, so I felt seen. Lucy Dacus and Jack Antonoff are Taylor's very close friends. Lucy is an American singer-songwriter and a band member of Boy Genius, who were also part of opening acts on Taylor's Eras Tour in 2023. And Jack Antonoff is one of Taylor's best and long-term friends and album collaborator. Oh, here we go again. The voices in his head called the rain to end our days of wild. This track seems to draw inspiration from Emily Dickinson's poem, Wild Nights. It is a passionate and evocative piece expressing intense longing and desire. Taylor has referenced the great American poet Emily Dickinson in her songs before, like Ivy and the inspiration behind Folklore's sister album, Evermore from Emily Dickinson's poem One Sister, Have I in Our House, from Out the Wide Night's Numbers, Sue forevermore. I felt more when we played pretend than with all the Kens. This line brings in a reference to Ken from Barbie. Summer 2023 was a Barbie X Eras tour-coded summer, so it was fun to see both of the references in this album. In Down Bad, we find references to Star Trek and Florence the Machine and many UFO and space references. Did you really beam me up? This is a reference to the phrase, beam me up, Scotty, which is a catchphrase and misquotation that made its way into pop culture from the science fiction television series Star Trek, the original series. It means the desire to be elsewhere, or the desire to be out of an unwanted situation, which is similar to the theme of this track. For a moment I knew cosmic love. It's a song by English indie rock band Florence and the Machine from their debut studio album Lungs, who also happens to be the collaborator of track 8 Florida. So Long London mixes The Great Gatsby with Shakespeare's Macbeth. The mention of fairy lights through the mist echoes Gatsby's green light symbolism. Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It's a classic novel set in the 1920s which follows the story of J. Gatsby, a mysterious millionaire, and his obsession with Daisy Buchanan, a woman from his past. First line refers to the novel's character Nick, while J. Gatsby is showing him the bright green light across the water that belongs to his ex Daisy. Did you think I had in me? How much tragedy? Meanwhile, how much tragedy directly alludes to Macbeth's descent into madness. This is a Shakespeare reference as the tragedy aspect refers to Macbeth, which is one of William Shakespeare's most famous tragedies, believed to have been written between 1603 and 1607. Follows a brave Scottish nobleman who is driven by ambition and the prophecy of witches to commit regicide and seize the throne. As Macbeth becomes more like a tyrant and loses his mind, he and his wife, Lady Macbeth, struggle with feeling guilty, paranoid, and dealing with what happens because of what they did. In But Daddy I Love Him, Taylor references Romeo and Juliet with echoes of her classic love story. Taylor has referenced Romeo and Juliet in many of her songs already, love story and sad, beautiful, tragic. Romeo and Juliet is a classic tragedy written by William Shakespeare, first performed around 1597. The play is set in Verona, Italy, and tells the story of two young lovers, Romeo Montague and Juliet Capulet, whose deaths ultimately reconcile their feuding families. The line, "But Daddy, I Love Him," mirrors Ariel's plea in The Little Mermaid, showcasing Taylor's knack for weaving classic love stories into her lyrics. Also a fun fact, The Little Mermaid also came out in 1989, like the Dead Poets Society. Another Summer Taken cover, Rolling Thunder, is a reference to Dream of Mickey Mantle by Bleachers, Gone Now, 2017, which Jack Antonoff wrote and produced for his band Bleachers. And as Taylor's longtime song producers and longtime collaborators, it's not surprising to see another Bleacher reference on this song along with multiple Jack references in both albums. Florida transports us to a world of hurricanes and draws inspiration from Jacqueline Suzanne's Valley of the Dolls. Delve into the symbolism of Florida. Taylor navigates themes of fame and excess, accompanied by Florence Welch's haunting vocals. The hurricane with my name, when it came, I got drunk and I dared it to wash me away. This is a reference to Florence's own song, Landscape, and a hurricane named the same as her, Hurricane Florence. At least the dolls are beautiful. Me up, Florida. This could also be a reference to Jacqueline Suzanne's 1996 novel, Valley of the Dolls, where the characters referred to pills as dolls. And that's all for part 1 of the literary and pop culture references in Taylor Swift's The Tortured Poets Department. If you enjoyed this exploration of literary and pop culture references, subscribe for part 2 and check out my blog for more freshly brewed content. See you soon.